Hi, I'm Erin Reeves with Reeves and Associates and eXp Realty here in Calgary. Today we're going to talk about what projects actually add value to your home in 2026. So spring is here. There are tons of listings coming on the market, lots of active buyers. We always come across the same question from our sellers. What are the projects they should work on that will actually yield them more money with their sale? Okay, so let's talk about the first key point and skipping those expensive mistakes. Lots of clients, lots of sellers or homeowners are constantly looking to add value to their property. But what they end up doing is overshooting with their kitchen renovation, adding too many luxury pieces to it, overdeveloping their basement development with all sorts of extra bells and whistles. With construction costs right now, we can't always get that value back for you when you do turn around and sell. And what that means for you is you're going to put in all of this money. We might only be able to get half of or 3/4 of that portion back. So we want to be very careful when we do go and make those renovations and add that extra value to the property that we're going to be able to at least 2 times your money to make it worth going through the headache of all of the renovations and additions to the property. So our key point number 2 is focusing on first impressions. We want to make sure that anyone walking through the door is getting the absolute best experience. Nothing is worse than half-finished projects. So when it comes to paint jobs, make sure we're following it all the way through and that we didn't shortcut it, with the last 20% of completion. Make sure when you're replacing baseboards or doors, window trims, that we're filling those nail holes and that we are actually painting those finished products as well. Flooring, if there's pieces of flooring that are damaged and it would just be a quick change to finish and replace those or get those transitioned out. So in order to get the best first impression for the people walking through the door, we want to focus on the mid-grade upgrades. Light fixtures go a long way to add a modern touch to your home with a little expense, but certainly makes a difference in the presentation. Minor updates to your kitchen, whether it's countertops or simply spraying the cabinets to bring them to a cheap and cheery white, always comes across really well in photos and gives that clean representation for buyers and a move-in ready experience. So also don't forget how important it is to bring your exterior of your home to a nice polished feel as well. Paint the garage door, make sure that's looking nice and fresh. The front door, if there's any trims that paint that has been faded, just make sure you're bringing it up to that really great streetscape and first impression as people are walking up to the front door. Okay, and key point number 3, we want to make sure we do not cut corners with the contractors that we are hiring. Value and exchange for quality goes a long way. When we are finding those contractors that are willing to do it for 1/3 of the cost as some of the other quotes that you've received, oftentimes you're going to see it in the quality and the results of the product. And in turn, you've gone and spent money on these renovations. One of the first things that we're going to hear with the feedback from the buyers going through your property is that they want that redone. And once you redo it, you're now tripling that cost rather than just doing it the right way the first time. So make sure you're not cutting corners when it comes to certified contractors. We have a vetted list of professionals that we work with regularly. They're great value, and at the end of the day, it's a great outcome on the other side. So when hiring a contractor, some red flags that you want to be aware of are those who don't have any proof of product or experience in the background, that they can't show you any projects that they've done previously, and they don't have a book of business that they can share with you about the quality of, their product on the other end. Also, if there is no contract, if there's no standard workflow to how this project is going to be completed, can be a bit of a red flag as well. I've been, just as bad as the other, and I go on Marketplace and I find a cheap and cheery handyman. It has backfired every time. I've learned from my mistakes. So you just want to make make sure that you are going to somebody who it is their full-time job and that is their expertise. So if you're planning to sell this spring and you want to understand the best value that you're going to get for your property and the renovations that are going to yield you the most in your pocket at the end of the day, we're certainly happy to connect with you, go through those list of items and make sure that you're only doing the things that are going to add to your bottom line and not add extra headache. So if you want to connect on that, our information is in the information box below. Reach out and we are happy to do an in-person tour and dive a little deeper into your projects.